trying to force me meeting this
I'm not
bitch. I don't have
forcing
to
you.
meet her. I won't do another thing. How that immature?
All right.
Take care of that stupid ass yourself.
Okay.
Lucky I'm pouring this much. That's the blessing.
The blessing is to be able to have understanding, forgiveness in your heart.
We have it. I have forgiven you. Otherwise, I would be on with my life happy as hell.
I didn't come here for this.
But I'm just letting you
telling
know.
you what the young lady said, all right?
And
The streets of Atlanta were buzzing as the latest scandal began to take shape. Young Jock, the veteran rapper and reality star known for his smooth demeanor, was about to ignite a firestorm. As always, Jock's life was full of drama, but this time, the drama was more personal, much more explosive. It all started when Jock discovered something that shook him to his core. He had always been careful with his finances, making sure to stay on top of everything. But there was one thing he had not anticipated. Kendra, his girlfriend, had crossed a line. And now, the whole world was about to find out. For weeks, Jock had been suspicious. He noticed some discrepancies in his accounts, small amounts of money going missing here and there. At first, he thought it was just a mistake, maybe a miscalculation or a technical issue. But then, the numbers kept adding up. The transactions were too consistent, too deliberate. Jock realized that someone close to him was taking advantage of his trust. He decided to take matters into his own hands. Being a man who valued his privacy but also his peace of mind, Jock hired a private investigator to look into the matter. The investigator did not waste any time. Within days, he had gathered the evidence Jock needed to uncover the truth. What Jock learned was shocking, and the footage was even more damning. The video clearly showed Kendra, who had been living with him and had access to his finances, moving large sums of money from his account into her own. It was a betrayal unlike anything Jock had ever experienced. Kendra, the woman he had trusted, the woman he thought was by his side, had been stealing from him. Jock was hurt but not entirely surprised. He knew he could not keep this to himself. He had to confront Kendra and the world. So, with the footage in hand, he made his decision. He would reveal it all. As the day of reckoning arrived, Jock prepared himself for the storm that was about to hit. He was not sure how Kendra would react, but he knew she would not take it lightly. However, he was not fully prepared for the chaos that was about to unfold. The moment Jock dropped the footage, the reactions were immediate. Fans, family, and everyone involved in the drama had their eyes glued to their screens. The video surfaced online, and as the camera zoomed in on Kendra taking the money without a second thought, the world gasped. This was not just a small mistake, this was calculated. This was theft. When Kendra saw the footage, her entire world flipped upside down. She had thought she was untouchable, that her relationship with Jock was strong enough to cover up any secrets. But the reality was far different. The betrayal Jock felt was evident, but now, it was time for Kendra to feel the full weight of her actions. Furious and embarrassed, Kendra could not believe that Jock would do this to her. She had never expected him to air their dirty laundry for the world to see. The sting of betrayal cut deeper than the theft itself. How could he expose her like this? Did their relationship mean nothing to him?
This DM is in vanish mode. Talking about you fine.
How did you even see that? Did you go?
I saw I did. I can go to his page and see when he was in Atlanta and when he was hitting you.
You can never break me. Ever. I'm trying to get some money.
You.
No, you.
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 I'm done with you. You're dead to me. Divorce.
Get the papers. I'm gonna take the high road like I should have done a long time ago.
Kendra wasted no time in retaliating. She stormed into Jock's studio, her face red with anger, her eyes burning with fury. She was livid, and the storm of emotions inside her was about to explode. Jock, she screamed as she entered the room, her voice loud and full of venom. How dare you? How dare you put me on blast like that? You think you can just play me like this? Jock stood there, calm but resolute. He had already prepared himself for this moment. Kendra, I didn't want to do this, but you left me no choice. You've been taking from me, and I can't just sit back and let you do that. Kendra's face twisted in disbelief. Taking from you? You're acting like I robbed you, Jock. This is us. We've been together for how long, and now you're going to treat me like some criminal on the streets. The anger in Kendra's voice was undeniable. She was hurt, humiliated, and furious that Jock had turned their private matter into public entertainment. But Jock wasn't backing down. The weight of what she had done was too heavy to ignore. Listen, Kendra, Jock said, his voice steady but firm. You've been stealing from me for months. I had to get the truth out because you wouldn't be honest with me. You've taken money that wasn't yours. You've lied to my face. And now, the whole world knows what you did. Kendra's anger reached a boiling point. She marched toward him, pointing a finger in his face, her voice rising with each word. You're going to sit here and lecture me about honesty? After everything we've been through together, you think exposing me like this is going to make things right? You've made a fool out of me, Jock. Her words were sharp, cutting through the air with the intensity of 1,000 accusations. Jock wasn't about to let her manipulate the situation. This wasn't just about their relationship, it was about trust, respect, and betrayal. You're the one who made a fool of yourself, Kendra, Jock replied, his voice growing more intense. You thought you could get away with it. Thought I wouldn't catch on. But I did. And now, you have to own up to what you've done. Kendra's eyes filled with rage and disbelief. She couldn't believe Jock was being so cold, so willing to expose her flaws to the entire world. In her mind, this was a personal attack, one she never saw coming. Her pride was wounded, and her emotions were all over the place. She had betrayed him, yes, but this wasn't how she thought it would go down. She thought they could work through it in private, fix things without the public humiliation. Her hands balled into fists as she paced back and forth. You really think I wanted to hurt you, Jock? Do you think I just stole for the fun of it? I was trying to help us. I was trying to help you. But no, you turned it all against me. You threw me to the wolves like this. After everything we've been through. Jock stood silent for a moment, staring her down. You didn't help us, Kendra. You took from us. And now, you've got to face the consequences. The tension in the room was thick, and Kendra's anger was only matched by the weight of her regret. She had crossed a line, but Jock had taken the first step in making sure she knew it. The fallout was real, and the consequences of her actions were far-reaching. Kendra could feel the walls closing in, but the rage inside her refused to dissipate. The truth had been exposed, and there was no turning back now. As the confrontation came to a head, Jock stood firm, knowing that this moment would change everything. Whether or not their relationship could survive the damage remained to be seen, but one thing was for sure, Kendra's betrayal had left a lasting scar.
It's not gonna happen. Okay, bitch, what? I you know, force me, meaningless bitch. I don't have to meet her. I won't do another mother thing. How that immature.
All right.
Take care of that stupid ass yourself.
Okay.
Lucky I'm doing this much. That's the blessing.
The blessing is to be able to have understanding, forgiveness in your heart.
We have it. I have forgiven you. Otherwise, I would be on with my life happy as hell.
I didn't come here for this.
But I'm just letting you know.
Telling you what the young lady said.
The streets of Atlanta were buzzing as the latest scandal began to take shape. Young Jock, the veteran rapper and reality star known for his smooth demeanor, was about to ignite a firestorm. His life was always full of drama, but this time, it was personal, much more explosive. It all started when Jock discovered something that rocked him to his core. He had always been careful with his finances, making sure to stay on top of things, but there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Kendra, his girlfriend, had crossed a line. Now, the whole world was about to know it. For weeks, Jock had been suspicious. He noticed discrepancies in his accounts, small amounts of money disappearing here and there. At first, he thought it was just a mistake, maybe a miscalculation or a technical issue. But then, the numbers kept adding up. The transactions were too consistent, too deliberate. Jock realized that someone close to him was taking advantage of his trust. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Jock, a man who valued his privacy and peace of mind, hired a private investigator. The investigator didn't waste any time. Within days, he had gathered the evidence Jock needed to uncover the truth. And the truth was devastating. The footage was damning. The video clearly showed Kendra, who had been living with him and had access to his finances, moving large sums of money from his account into her own. It was a betrayal unlike anything Jock had ever experienced. The woman he trusted, the woman he thought was by his side, was stealing from him. He was hurt but not surprised. He knew he couldn't keep this to himself. He had to confront Kendra and reveal the truth to the world. As the day of reckoning arrived, Jock braced himself for the storm that was about to hit. He wasn't sure how Kendra would react, but he knew she wouldn't take it lightly. What he wasn't prepared for was the chaos that would follow. The moment Jock dropped the footage, the reactions were immediate. Fans, family, and everyone involved in the drama had their eyes glued to their screens. Kendra had always been the type of woman who carried herself with dignity. Her life was a testament to hard work and self-reliance. She had built her career from the ground up, earning respect in an industry where trust was a rare commodity. But even the strongest people have their breaking points, and Kendra was about to face hers. Her relationship with young Jock had always been filled with ups and downs. At first, things seemed perfect. Jock had charmed his way into her heart with his quick wit and easygoing demeanor. He seemed like the man who could support her dreams, her ambitions, and her need for stability. However, over time, cracks began to appear, and Kendra's trust in him began to waver. It wasn't until one fateful night that everything changed. Jock had always been a bit secretive, sometimes dodging questions and keeping certain things to himself. But Kendra never imagined that the man she trusted with her life would betray her in the worst way possible. Jock dropped a bombshell, a piece of footage that changed everything. The footage revealed something Kendra never thought possible. Her own money was being stolen. She stared at the screen in disbelief, watching as Jock's hand reached into a drawer she thought was secure. Her mind raced as she tried to process the betrayal, the anger, the confusion, and the devastation. In that moment, everything Kendra had believed about their relationship came crashing down. The man she had loved, the man she had trusted, had stolen from her, and he wasn't even sorry. Kendra had always been a private person, focused on her goals and rarely seeking validation from others. She prided herself on maintaining control in her personal and professional life. Her career in the entertainment industry had given her enough exposure, but she managed to stay grounded until Jock entered her life. At first, it felt like a fairy tale. Jock was charming, always able to make her laugh and feel special. They shared so many personal moments, dates, intimate conversations, and plans for a promising future. But as their relationship progressed, Kendra began to notice strange things. Jock would disappear for hours without explanation, his phone buzzing with messages he quickly dismissed. He became distant, less affectionate, and even avoided discussing his finances, something Kendra never thought to question until now. Looking back, the signs were there, but Kendra had always given him the benefit of the doubt. She trusted him when he said everything was fine. As time went on, Jock became more elusive, his actions harder to justify. Kendra started noticing discrepancies in their shared finances, small withdrawals that didn't make sense. When she confronted him about it, he always had an excuse, a story to explain away her concerns. But deep down, Kendra couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Determined to find out the truth, Kendra took matters into her own hands. She began tracking every transaction, monitoring the flow of money in their shared accounts. The more she looked, the more questions arose. Who was transferring money out of their joint accounts? And why was Jock always so evasive when she asked about it? Then, one day, Kendra discovered a bank transfer she couldn't explain. She dug deeper, contacting the bank for more details. That's when she found out someone had accessed her personal funds, and the money had been moved to an account she didn't recognize. Kendra's heart sank. It couldn't be real. She didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was undeniable. Someone had stolen from her, and she suspected that someone was young Jock. The day Jock decided to reveal the footage, Kendra's world was about to implode. He invited her over to his place under the guise of talking things through. Jock had been acting strange all week, and Kendra couldn't ignore the unease in the pit of her stomach. But she agreed, hoping for answers, hoping that maybe, just maybe, she was wrong. When she arrived, Jock was sitting on the couch, his laptop open in front of him. There was something in his eyes, a glint of guilt mixed with something else she couldn't quite place. He motioned for her to sit. Kendra, Jock started, his voice shaky. I never meant for things to get this far. I didn't know how to tell you, but I can't keep hiding this anymore. Kendra frowned, confusion crossing her face. What are you talking about, Jock? Without another word, Jock hit play on the laptop, and the footage began to roll. Kendra watched in disbelief as the video played out. There on the screen was unmistakable footage of her own money being stolen. The timestamp matched her last withdrawal, and there, in full view, was the truth she had been dreading. Everything had changed in an instant. The trust was broken. The love was gone. And as the world watched, the scandal that rocked Atlanta was only just beginning. The moment Kendra saw Jock's face, her breath hitched. No, she whispered to herself, no, this can't be happening. But it was. The proof was right in front of her. Jock was the one who had stolen from her. Her heart began to race, and an overwhelming fury started to build within her. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. All she could feel was the raw rush of betrayal. Jock, sensing her rising anger, tried to explain, Kendra, but Kendra snapped, standing up from the couch. How could you do this? After everything we've been through, you steal from me. You steal from us. Jock's face reflected regret, but it was too late. The damage was done. He opened his mouth to speak, but Kendra silenced him. I trusted you. I gave you everything, Jock, and this is how you repay me. Her voice cracked, but she refused to let him see her tears. You don't deserve me. You never did. In the days that followed, Kendra's world seemed to fall apart. She didn't know who to trust anymore. The weight of Jock's betrayal felt unbearable, gnawing at her heart. How could someone she had loved, someone she thought she knew so well, do something so unforgivable. Sleepless nights became the norm as Kendra replayed the footage in her mind. The image of Jock's hand reaching into the drawer haunted her. Anger, confusion, and hurt merged in a storm of emotions. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face, the face of the man who had promised to be by her side, only to betray her in the worst possible way. Her friends tried to comfort her, but nothing helped. The pain was too raw, too fresh. Kendra couldn't understand why Jock had done it, why he'd taken something so precious from her. She couldn't bring herself to speak to him, unable to face him without the searing anger that threatened to consume her. Jock reached out several times, calling, texting, but Kendra couldn't respond. He had crossed a line, and in her mind, there was no going back. Then one evening, after days of silence, Jock showed up at her door. His face was filled with regret. Jock stood before Kendra, his eyes pleading for forgiveness. "Kendra, please," he said, his voice cracking. "I never meant to hurt you. It was a mistake. I messed up, but you have to believe me, I didn't want it to go this far. I need you to understand, I was desperate." Kendra stood at the door, her gaze icy. "Desperate?" she echoed coldly. "So you steal from me because you were desperate?" She shook her head in disbelief. "There's no excuse for what you did, Jock." None. Kendra's heart pounded as she absorbed the shocking scene before her. The soft light from the lamp barely illuminated the tension in the room, revealing Jock, her husband, entangled with Mo, a friend she had trusted. The sight hit her like a punch to the gut, leaving her breathless. For weeks, rumors had swirled, whispers of late-night meetings and secret texts, but Kendra had dismissed them, convincing herself they were nothing but gossip. Now, confronted with this betrayal, those whispers rang in her mind, each one sharper than the last. "Jock," she shouted, her voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and fury. Jock's eyes widened in panic, the surprise on his face quickly shifting to terror. Mo, still tangled in the sheets, scrambled to cover himself, equally stunned. "Wait, Kendra," Jock pleaded, but his words were drowned by the whirlwind of emotions crashing over her. "Why would you do this?" she demanded, her voice shaking but resolute. "After everything we built, it was a mistake," Jock stammered, glancing nervously at Mo as if seeking some form of support. 3. The betrayal felt like a violation of everything their relationship had been, and Kendra couldn't process the mixture of hurt and rage boiling within her. "Just a mistake," she echoed incredulously. "You think that makes it okay? You think I'm just going to stand here and accept that?" The room fell silent, thick with tension. Mo tried to interject. "Kendra, stay out of this," Kendra snapped, her anger now entirely directed at Jock. "This is between us. You don't get to drag him into your mess. I love you," Jock insisted, desperation creeping into his voice. "Love?" Kendra scoffed, her eyes narrowing. "This isn't love, Jock. This is betrayal, plain and simple." Kendra felt the sting of tears, but she refused to let them fall. Instead, she stood firm, determined not to show weakness in the chaos of the moment. "I'm so sorry," Jock said, but the apology felt hollow, a last-ditch effort that did nothing to ease the pain Kendra felt. "You didn't mean to hurt me?" Kendra repeated, disbelief in her tone. "You've shattered everything we had. Do you think that can just be brushed aside?" Kendra's mind raced through the little moments they had shared, the laughter, the plans, the intimacy. Now, everything felt tainted. "I thought you were my partner, my confidant. How could you do this to me?" "I didn't want it to happen," Jock whispered, shame flooding his features. "Clearly, you didn't care enough to stop it," Kendra shot back, fury igniting her resolve. "You've shown me exactly who you are, and I won't be your second choice." She turned to leave, but not before delivering one final blow. "You can have him, Jock. I deserve someone who will honor me, not betray me." As Kendra stepped out of the room, an unexpected surge of strength coursed through her. The whispers that had once haunted her now transformed into a mantra of empowerment. This was a moment of awakening, not just heartbreak. Kendra walked away from the betrayal, the cool night air pressing against her skin, her heart pounding with a mix of sorrow and determination. She wouldn't let this define her. She would reclaim her narrative, her strength, and forge a new path, away from the shadows of betrayal. Rumors might swirl, but Kendra knew she would rise from this, stronger than ever, ready to face whatever came next. The atmosphere at the Atlanta mansion buzzed with excitement, but the tension between Kendra and Mo was electric, charged with unresolved animosity. Friends and crew members hovered nearby, their eyes locked on the two women as the drama unfolded. Kendra's voice trembled with fury. "You thought I wouldn't find out? You really think you can just play me like a fool?" Mo leaned back with a confident smirk on her face. "Play you? Please, you don't even know what you're getting into." Kendra stepped closer, fire blazing in her eyes. "I know enough. You took my money, my hard-earned money. You think I'm just going to let that slide?" Mo laughed, sharp and dismissive. Money? You act like it was yours to begin with. You were just a pawn in this game. Gasps rippled through the crowd as Kendra's voice grew louder, her indignation rising. A pawn? You're the one who stole from me. You think that's amusing? Mo stepped forward, her demeanor shifting. You should have kept better track of your investments. Rushed voices tried to diffuse the tension, but Kendra brushed them aside. I trusted you, Mo. This is how you repay that trust. By taking what's mine. Oh, come on, Mo sneered. You're upset over a little cash. That's cute. Suddenly, in a shocking moment, Mo slapped Kendra. The room fell silent. Kendra staggered back, disbelief washing over her, a mix of shock and rage surging within her. You just crossed the line, Kendra yelled, her heart pounding. The crew quickly moved in, trying to separate them as the tension in the room became unbearable. Kendra glared at Mo, her determination flaring. You think this is over? This is just the beginning. I won't back down. Mo flipped her hair defiantly, still wearing that smug smile. Bring it on. Let's see what you've really goted. As the confrontation intensified, whispers filled the room. Some friends urged Kendra to walk away, while others encouraged her to stand her ground. But Kendra was resolute. The betrayal had cut deep, and she wasn't going to let it slide. Do you even realize how hard I worked for that money? Kendra pressed, her voice rising above the murmurs. I sacrificed so much, and you think you can just waltz in and take what's mine? Mo's expression shifted, her playful demeanor fading slightly. You're acting like I'm the bad guy. You made your choices. You were too naive to see what was happening. Kendra's friends exchanged anxious glances, the tension palpable. Naive? Kendra snapped. I trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. You're the one in the wrong. Trust goes both ways, Kendra, Mo replied, crossing her arms. You should have been more careful. The two women stood locked in a fierce battle of wills, neither willing to back down. Kendra felt adrenaline surging through her, fueling her determination. She had worked too hard to let this go without a fight. You really think you can scare me? Because I'm not going anywhere, Kendra asserted, her voice steady. I'm going to make sure everyone knows who you really are. Mo raised an eyebrow, a challenge lighting up her gaze. And what do you think you'll achieve? This isn't just a game. It's my life too, Kendra replied, her tone firm. You think you can get away with this? Not while I'm around. As the intensity of their standoff grew, the onlookers watched with bated breath, fully aware that this battle wasn't over.